But it's only your second start. Yeah, that was your first
Yes.
start.
Yeah.
Yeah.
First.
The only position that has changed, if you exclude the Regis game, which they knew they were
Everyone.
going to win,
Yeah.
is
Steggy.
right back.
Steggy.
Okay. Yeah.
When are we going on?
Riley, we can go. Are you live on YouTube? Okay, so then yeah, we'll still go on
Go
at
at
5 though.
Do we have time to do all this in 5?
Yeah, no, because I mean, we just have. Ooh, do you want to do 7?
Yeah, I think 7 makes
Okay.
sense.
Riley, we'll do 7. You got that, David?
What?
Go live at 7.
6 or 7. Yeah.
Yeah, because we want to. I mean, we can always.
We have 5 graphics. I feel
Yeah,
like
we
should
have
make
5
sure we have time to get through
graphics,
it all.
and we have. I mean, they can. Yeah, national.
We're all
anthem,
yappers, so.
Yeah.
Any NEFC player can join us near the player's exit following the game for pictures with players. Go
What?
Jumbos.
Pictures with players. Sounds gas.
Our Tufts University Women's Soccer Senior Day.
I want a picture.
Quite the impact on the program over the last 4 years. The seniors have
trying to get
helped Tufts
outside.
to a 39-20-8 record over the past 4 years. In that time, the Jumbos have earned a berth in the NASCAC playoffs all 4 years, reaching as high as the semifinals. They have also appeared in 2 NCAA tournaments, reaching as high as the Final Four in 2023. And
What?
let's give it up for the Tufts University Women's Soccer Class of 2025.
Well.
Yeah, give
Okay.
David some time.
Yeah, give me
Well,
a
just when David's ready.
Okay, and let me just.
Forward from Shrewsbury, Massachusetts, number 20, Erin Duncan. Erin is joined today by her parents, Scott and Caroline, and will graduate in May with a master's in public health. Fans, give it up for number 20, Erin Duncan. Next is a graduate student forward from Branford, Connecticut, number 23, Nicola Summers. Nicola is accompanied today by her parents, Karen Kennedy and Alex Summers, and her brother, Stuart. Nicola will graduate in May with a degree in economics. Congratulations, Nicola, and let's give it up for our number 23, Nicola Summers. Next is a senior defender from Mill Valley, California, number 21, Jordan Kushner. Jordan is joined today by her parents, Alex and Eris, by her grandparents, Chuck and Jean, and by her brother, Josh. Jordan will graduate from Tufts with a degree in psychology. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for number 21, Jordan Kushner.
Yeah, it's a great day to be out here on Bello. It's a lovely, sunny afternoon, and as the senior presentations go on, I'll run you through a bit of the seniors that are getting all the praise and love that they deserve. And 2 of the biggest names I think that this senior class has provided are Jordan Kushner and Caroline O'Neill, 2 of the highest minute getters so far this season. Kushner, the only one with over 1,000, with 1,007 right now. So the hardest workers on the team, you could argue. And for Caroline O'Neill and Jordan Kushner, they've done so much and contributed so much on this team, O'Neill being a captain this year as well. And along, as we see, Natalie Rinker, backup goalkeeper for many years here at Tufts, but has been such a huge member of the squad regardless. You can tell how much the team loves having her on the team. And she did feature in 2 games already this season, which is obviously very impressive as well. And finally, of the true seniors, you could say, Juliana Rosen has featured in many, many attacking roles so far in a few games this season. We also are honoring Erin Duncan and Nicola Summers as they are graduate students, so they almost get a second senior day, but everyone getting the laud and praise that they deserve.
Thanks, Max. Let's talk a little bit about the game we've got ahead of us. This is a high-powered Tufts offense going up against an equally high-powered Middlebury defense. Micah, tell me a little bit about production on both ends for these teams.
It really is, and I think high-powered is putting it lightly. Middlebury, a top 20 defense in D3. Tufts, a top 20 offense in D3. That is really the story of this game. But you can see Tufts is much more willing to sacrifice their defensive solidity in order to go forward. You can see every single attacking stat for both themselves and their opponents are higher than the Panthers. They are much more blood and thunder, make things happen at either end, and it'll be that much more entertaining. And you can just see that difference playing out. But both teams, as you say, very tightly in the race for these spots in the sharp end of the NESCAC season. Both strategies are going to be pitted against each other, but have had some success so far.
Yeah, and while you're keeping an eye on that Middlebury third, here's a matchup you'll want to look at. Maddie Shin, senior captain for this team, only player among the Panthers to start every game so far in 2024. Also an all-academic selection last year and an all-NESCAC second-team selection. So definitely a player to watch as she comes out here in her final campaign with the Panthers, and she will have quite the job to do today as she guards Elsie Aries, obviously star striker for the Jumbos, 2023 all-NESCAC first team and all-American third team. That's one you'll want to keep an eye on. Speaking of things to keep an eye on, we do keys to the game, and I'd like to hear what those are from the both of you.
Yeah, so starting off with Tufts, I think something that's worked so well for them so far this season is just scoring early, getting the front foot and getting ahead, and it's really allowed them to build off their game right from the get-go, and we've seen that 8 goals so far in just the first 10 minutes of their matches so far this season, including a first-minute goal against Colby. The list goes on, including some non-conference matches against Endicott and Regis, but they've just been able to click right away, which has been very encouraging, and I think is a large reason why they've been able to put up so many goals, because that momentum really carries them further. And also another key to the game, give yourself a cushion, allow yourself to play a bit more comfortable. Don't feel as tense as you head into the later stages of the match, as we know has been kind of their weak point, conceding later on in the match.
Definitely, and I think that thing you said about scoring early could really apply to both teams here. Middlebury are a very first-half heavy team. They've scored 14 of their 23 goals in the first half, 5 of those coming in the first 15 minutes of games. They are very much another team that look to get on the front foot early in games, but also keeping the clean sheet. Middlebury have yet to trail in any game this year. They're one of 5 teams left in the country who have yet to trail this year. Still undefeated coming into this game, as we didn't mention, 7-0-5. And that is something that Tufts will be looking to put an end to today, as they have taken the lead in so many of their games so far. And the other thing that they want to make sure they get done is getting Gigi Day and Abby Ward on the ground early and often. Those two have really run the offense for the Panthers so far this year. They haven't had one real talisman that they've looked to. They've really spread the goals around, but those two have been the leaders in attacking areas.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Middlebury being an undefeated team. We just saw Tufts take down the number 2 ranked team in the country in the Amherst Mariners, formerly undefeated as well. So Tufts, I think they're in the best position they can be, having just defeated such a big rival of theirs, and maybe this could be another one for them. We know that they're beginning of the week, there was 12 teams undefeated left in.
Fans, at this time, we would ask that you please rise if able and remove your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
Yeah, I mean, like you mentioned, Gigi Day. Oh, sorry. We'll do the anthem and then we'll finish. So both these teams have had a look at each other. nice takeaways from the Tufts offense. They'll be looking to slide it past their better today.
We should clarify for anyone wondering, if you think Carolyn Kelly seems like a familiar name, we're going to be saying that a lot today. Caroline Kelly starting in midfield for Tufts. Carolyn Kelly starting in net for the Panthers. That's going to be an interesting one to keep an eye on, and will be a fun call if we get to make it.
Another duplicate name, you could say. Eva O'Reilly on the Tufts Jumbos, Olivia O'Reilly on the Middlebury Panthers. So we might have a few names we'll be repeating ourselves, but just keep an eye out. We'll make sure it's clear for you. Something you mentioned, David, the history of this matchup. Something we didn't get to talk to earlier was that Tufts have not defeated Middlebury in the last 14 years. Quite a staggering stat, and dates back to 2010, obviously, which was a 3-0 win back in Medford. And since then, it's been 5 draws and 8 losses. But the last 2 of those games have been 1-1 draws. As you mentioned, that the game last year, Aries and Day did deliver those big names, turning up when it matters most. But I think for Tufts, you have to look at the history of the matchup. You might be intimidated, but I think this is the place they want to be to get back in the win column. It just hasn't been their match in recent years.
And I think one thing you can say coming into this game is that Middlebury have definitely been the steadier ship of the two. They tend to keep things calm, as we said, not eager to get forward if they will sacrifice their own defensive solidity. They will keep things calm. They've had 3 0-0 draws already on the season. And if you ask me, Tufts have been very bipolar. They have had some incredible games where they've beaten top 3 teams like Amherst and MIT, and they've had some less good games where they've lost to Williams or Wesleyan and drawn with Hamilton. I think this game really comes down to what version of Tufts we get today. If they come out with that version that we've seen against top-ranked teams as they're playing another one here today, then this could be really interesting for them to show their swagger. If they don't, then Middlebury will be running off this one and chasing that NESCAC home game.
One thing that has been consistent, though, for the Jumbos, you could say, is their home field strength. They're still undefeated this year, 5-0, and so that's been their falling back point, something they can rely on, and I think that's why I think they're even more poised for a good result. But as we know, Middlebury always find a way to keep the sheets clean. 9 clean sheets on the season so far, and only 5 goals conceded. Tufts obviously can't quite say the same, but that's why we mentioned this is an elite matchup on display.
Let's take a look at your starting lineups for these two teams. On the Tufts end, obviously in net, it is Gigi Edwards. In the back, seniors Caroline O'Neill and Jordan Kushner are accompanied by Lena Seguru and Anna Griffin, getting her second start of the season. In the midfield, it's Caroline Kelly, Reese Birch, and Emily Nicholas. And up top, Waverly Sumner, Nicholas Summers, and Elsie Aries. And for Middlebury, in net, as we mentioned, is Carolyn Kelly. On the defensive end, it's the seniors Lucy Patton and Maddie Shin, accompanied by Roshan Purcell and Tessa Broderick. In the midfield, it would be Kylie Bertos. Top goal scorer Chloe Swindle and Peyton Pettiford Rowan. And then up top, Addie Ward, Jolie Verzi, and senior captain Sophie Cole.
Really interesting one there is Tufts have been very consistent with their starting 11. Only 15 unique starters this year. Middlebury, 25. They've really mixed and matched when it comes to who they put on the pitch.
And something also to note for the Middlebury Panthers, 15 seniors on this squad. They had to have 2 games for senior day last weekend. So you can tell that this senior class is one to watch out for, and you can see a lot of those starters in this starting lineup as well.
Where is he now? Dropping it back for Cole. Purcell looks to play it through. And Lena Seguru will lead the ball out of bounds. A little bit too much on it.
Something that was also very impressive from this season so far for Middlebury is the way they've bounced back. Last year, it didn't even make the NESCAC tournament. Kind of a shocker if you're Middlebury, the first time in history. So this is their season to bounce back and return to the glory days, having reached the NCAA finals in 2018. So they'll look to reach those new heights.
And they've had some really good results to the season. They had 3 consecutive draws against top-ranked opponents, MIT, Amherst, and then Wesleyan, who were not ranked at the time but are now considered among the best teams in the nation. But they are still not guaranteed by any means a NESCAC home game. This is a big game for them. They will really need those 3 points in order to fend off a late charge from the Amherst Mammoths for that 4th spot.
And as you mentioned as well, having just come off that win against Amherst, I think if you get this win against Middlebury, you're all but secure for a home game. It's still not quite wrapped up. Still a few games left in this NESCAC season, but a lot to look into.
And it'll be a handball on Pettiford Rowan. She'll get in the way of that one. Tufts will reset in the back. Segru examining her options. Summers. Nice turn by Caroline Kelly. A couple nice passes strung together, and now we have Reese Birch on the wing. Little move in, but it's cut out.
It's a great positional rotation there. You saw Summers dropping back, and that allowed Birch to pick up that position. Great work by her to see the space.
Ward up to Verzi. Drop off pass for Pettiford Rowan. Sees Swindle on the near side. Broderick up to Verzi, but it's cut out by Caroline Kelly, but a little bit too much on the first touch. And Patton will knock it out. Beautiful ball from Patton up to Cole on the wing. She's got a little bit of space, and Anna Griffin turns it into darkness. Battling for the ball now on the wing.
Good fight there from Griffin. Obviously, as we mentioned, this is her second start of the season. Perhaps she's new. She's definitely new to that right back position as she normally is played as a winger. So maybe some of those defensive rotations are very important to keep an eye out for, but she did a great job to recover and clear that one out, clear the danger.
Cole into Rowan. Kelly now tries to pull it back, and it's dropped out in a bad spot, but just a little bit too much juice on the shot from Abby Ward.
Dangerous there from Kelly, playing the back heel on her own baseline. Perhaps not the wisest decision, but no harm, no foul in the end, and will be a goal kick for Gigi Edwards.
Edwards definitely happy to see that one float safely over, as that one was a really dangerous position. Just lean back there on the shot, did Ward.
And we see Kelly already a bit earlier in that play with a great 1-2. She's done that so well this year, and especially the connection with the Aries is one to keep an eye out for.
Yeah, and obviously Ward, the top goal and point leader for this team. Not somebody you want to see taking a wide open shot from the edge of your box. Edwards relieved to see that go high. Birch now a little bit tapped around, but it stays jumbo ball, and Kushner will reset it up. Sumner with a nice little tiki-taka drop off to Kelly. Good ball on the wing. It's contact between Summers and Purcell. They'll stop play.
Well,
we're going to
they
take a
tend
pause.
to the injury. We'll take a pause.
And we're back. As Carolyn Kelly will look to take the kick.
Purcell is able to walk off, and Frankie Getman comes into the game as the improvised substitute in the back line. Thankfully, Purcell looks to be largely okay, but head injury, you always want to make sure.
Now Emily Nicholas able to get under it and sends it to the outside, so Getman will take the throw in for the Panthers. Up to Cole, nice drop off for Ward. Sees Rowan. Middlebury with a little bit of time, not a ton of space. Chloe Swindle, Jordan Kushner. Maintains possession, drops it into the middle. It's a nice ball back over to her by Bertos. Tries to pull it inside on Kushner and to no avail.
Great fight from Kushner, the senior, on her senior day.
Sumner sees Aries with a nice ball up, but Broderick and Shin are right there. Oh, goodness me! Aries with a nice move on Shin, but she comes in the block on the body. Works it away nicely. It'll be no call coming the other way.
That matchup you mentioned, Shin and Aries, on full display there. The absolute filth from LC Aries through the legs, and Shin had to make up for it. Battled for it. No call in the end from the ref, but
Definitely looked like a hold.
that was clean from Aries, that's for sure.
It's clean but dirty.
There you go. Free kick. Nothing out of that, though. As you mentioned, that connections between Sumner and Aries. Aries does a great job of connecting the link-up play, and as you saw as well, Kushner fighting for it as ever. There's a reason why she leads this team in minutes.
Tufts now working it around in their own end. It's O'Neal who got tied up with the ball a second ago, but it came back to the Jumbos after that misplaced kick. Gigi Edwards. Not really able to get under it, and now has to race for the ball with Sophie Cole. And Emily Nicholas dropping it back to Segru. Got that contact.
Yeah, loose touch from Segru, let it roll by here a bit too far, but as we've seen so many times, the Tufts midfield always so resolute in their defense and building up from the back, so Nicholas with a good cover there and wins the foul.
Referees establishing some ground rules in this one. They've been calling those sort of medium contact hits in the midfield, and the players will have to accommodate that. Throw in now again for Middlebury. It's Anna Griffin who gets under it. Here's Kylie Bertos. Drop off pass for Shin. One touch. Aries almost pulls it away. Shin on her back. Nice little move. Pulls it inside. Oh, a little bit too much on it on the pass in the middle. Intended for Waverly Sumner. Griffin with a nice takeaway. And Birch tops it off for Summer. Sumner back to Birch. She's got some space. And once again, there is a Middlebury Panther there when needed most.
Good slip through in for Birch. Almost managed to get the shot off, but this Middlebury defense is a tough one to crack. As I mentioned before, only 5 goals conceded on the year. Will take a lot to get through them.
Nicholas steps in and drops it off for Aries, but given away on the second pass. Ward now tries to get a control on it, can't. But it's back safely to Patton. Getman trying to pull it into the middle. Tufts with a high press now. But Middlebury breaking it down effectively so far. Broderick centering for Verzi, taken away by O'Neal. O'Neal taken away by Broderick into Pettiford Rowan. It's back and forth action in the midfield here.
No one there in the midfield for Kushner, though. As you saw, as O'Neal pushed up, someone needed to drop back in behind. She's filled in her position now, but Middlebury might want to expose that in the future.
And once again, a little bit too much gas on a ball up the wing. This time Segru can't guide it out of bounds with Cole on her back, forced to push it to the outside.
Tufts are leaving Caroline Kelly much deeper than they usually do. Usually have Emily Nicholas as a single pivot with Kelly and Birch ahead, but now they've dropped Kelly more into a double pivot, leaving Birch room to roam up ahead.
And given her goal-scoring prowess with 5 on the season, you'd think they'd want her in that attacking role, but perhaps for this quality of opposition, Panthers being number 12 in the country, they've opted to use her defensive abilities maybe more.
She really is a tenacious ball carrier, ball winner in the midfield. You don't necessarily expect it from someone of her physique, but she is so hard to get off the ball when she's on it.
Broderick now controlling. Verzi sees Swindle on the wing.
Good clearance there from Nicholas.
Segru sees Nicola Summers, and it's a great ball up to Alcieri's. But Maddie Shin, Frankie Getman, and Tessa Broderick are both on that back, all on that back line. And it is Getman who gets in the way. Oh my God! Holy moly! Sweet ball of fire! Absolute bosh!
How about that on her senior day? That's Nicola Summers from outside the box, sailed into the top corner. Kelly, no chance. And what a way. I think it's just past the 10 minutes, but still, just like that, out of nothing. I thought Aries was lost, the chance was over, but Summers delivers. Absolute firecracker.
Summers delivered the ball too to send Aries free, and she just was 1-on-3, couldn't get past the defenders, but Middlebury couldn't get the ball away cleanly. Summers just ran onto the empty ball. They didn't expect her to take it first time. Least of all, Carolyn Kelly in the Middlebury goal was caught stranded. Watched that one sail over her into the side netting. Brilliant way to open the game.
I have chills. Like this season, Bello has seen some extraordinary goals. I feel so lucky that I'm able to witness it.
Kushner now intervening. Yeah, we talked about, a case of great defense, great offense. Middlebury plays it perfectly, right?
That's what you should do.
Getman convenes on the middle. Nice takeaway on Aries. There's nothing Carolyn Kelly can do about that. They played it perfectly, but Nicola Summers with just a perfectly placed ball to the top bin.
Summers just pounced.
Goodness.
That was her moment, and for all these fans in attendance, I'm sure they're absolutely delighted. Maybe not the Middlebury ones, but still.
And if you ask which team getting an early goal will make a bigger difference, this is a huge one for Tufts. If Middlebury get an early goal, Tufts rely on themselves to get on the score sheet anyway. But if Tufts get on the score sheet early, Middlebury know that they are in for a rough ride if Tufts get their momentum going in attack.
And coming off of 2 0-0 draws as well in their last 2, maybe their boots are feeling a bit cold, so they will need to find something in order to get themselves off and running.
I mean, you made reference to this earlier, Micah. This is now the first time this season that Middlebury has been losing in a game. So this is not somewhere, they're not used to playing from behind. Their skill, I guess, their strong point is holding the line and never going under. We'll see if they can come back up to the surface in this one.
Yeah, we'll see how Coach Peter Kim responds in his 22nd year at the helm of the Panthers, but hard to compete against the experience of Coach Martha Whiting in her 25th year.
Ball high and wide into the middle, and it sails overhead. Bertos nicely played out.
And if you're the Jumbos, as we mentioned in the pregame, why not add on to it? Why not get that insurance? Set yourself for an even better rest of the game and look to be poised to do so.
Birch with a header, and it's anyone's ball. Abby Ward up to Verzi, but Segru carves it out and sends it high and wide. Summers catching up with it, but can't control it. Well held out on the wing by Getman.
Do you think that game against Amherst that Tufts took the victory over kind of sent a message to the rest of the league? I'm sure Middlebury were aware.
100%. I mean, whenever you beat an unbeaten team at this point in the season, Aries almost got away with that one. It's really going to send shockwaves through the league, let alone when you're going up against another undefeated team. Then, in 4 days later, they're just trying to make their mark. We saw Tufts really find their spark at the very end of last season, but they have really gotten that ticket early here.
Perhaps it shook. Could collect that from Kelly, but perhaps it shook Amherst for the worse as they drew with Hamilton earlier today with the 2-2 scoreline. So one game can have a real big impact for the rest of the year, and could be seeing the same here today.
And once again on that play, good coordination on the defensive end for Middlebury, holding the Tufts offensive players off. I believe it was Frankie Getman doing that work, allowing Carolyn Kelly to come out of the box and collect. Now Tufts will control from the back. Abby Ward with a high-octane play on the press, almost gets it, but not quite. Caroline Kelly, nice ball up to Waverly Sumner. Has a drop-off for Reese Birch. She likes it. Tessa Broderick, the freshman, chasing down on the sideline, and Birch just can't control it the way she wanted to. It'll be a goal kick.
Birch has been popping up everywhere. Right side, middle, left side now. It's just been causing so many problems, but maybe just sprinted a bit too far, ran out of gas.
Yeah, it's that midfield engine that's really been covering so much ground, and perhaps a bit disappointed with that touch in the box in the end, but good connect there from Sumner, finding her woman with the through ball, and Tufts really stringing together some impressive attacks.
Anna Griffin getting a foot on the ball with Sophia Cole, but then finishing it a bit too much, taking it to the ground, and will go the other way.
Griffin's shown some aggressive in that right back position, kind of winning a lot of fouls there, so good energy from her. Just needs to be careful. Not too many yellow cards issued in SCAC play we've seen so far, but always need to be cautious.
If you're moving back there from right wing, then your positioning might not be as sharp as it might be if you were playing there consistently, so that will result necessarily in you being in that position or in the wrong positions a couple times and having to make up for that, and Anna Griffin is not afraid to put in a challenge in order to compensate.
Griffin up to Summers. I've been watching her closely, and it's played off nicely. Now we have Caroline Kelly and Wussy Patton.
Seemed to be tripped there, Kelly. A little bit of contact, but Middlebury win it cleanly in the eyes of the ref. Will be a throw now.
Many throw-ins on this side of the pitch for Middlebury so far. They seem to keep controlling it out of bounds off a Tufts foot, and we'll see if they can do anything with it going forward. Kushner now, a little rollover and a drop back to O'Neill.
16. Thank you. Yeah.
Some more action for Griffin there on the far side. Does win it with a throw in the end.
I don't know about you, but this first 15 minutes has flown by. It does not feel like it's been that at all.
Yeah, compared to the men's soccer game we just witnessed, that seemed to last forever. Those 90 minutes felt like 180. And every play seemed very intense. This game showing many signs of being just as intense, but perhaps for the men's game, even more on the line, being ranked number 2 and 3 in the country.
Swindle goes for control, but Caroline Kelly with a string of 2 nice takeaways sees Waverly Sumner, ball on her right foot. We know that she likes to do that pull in and Bosch move from there.
Foul called there by the ref. That didn't seem to be too much. Sumner a bit upset with it, but
yes, if you see that outstretched arm, you're going to give that.
Yeah, perhaps a bit of obstruction, but as you mentioned before, Kelly's determination or grit to win that ball just creates attacks. So many instances.
Tessa Broderick sending it to the opposite side for Frankie Getman. Sees Ward. With Emily Nicholas on her back. This one's intercepted by Birch, but Shin wants absolutely nothing to do with it, sending it far to the Tufts back line.
Good control there from O'Neill, dealing with the pressure on her back, finding Segru. What a ball.
With a nice ball up. Once again, the Middlebury back line, there when it counts. Maddie Shin holding Elsie Aries off the ball. Played it nicely up to Patton.
That's part of Aries' game that has been really shut down by a lot of teams this year. They haven't let her run in behind, and she's been forced to adapt her game, dropping so deep and allowing other players to get the spotlight.
Abby Ward, one-on-one with O'Neill. 2-on-1 now with Griffin, but plays it nicely to the wing. And
offside called.
Sophia called, not liking the call, but
seemed to be the right one.
It did, but that was a dangerous opportunity. Anna Griffin, again, caught out of position. Had Cole stayed behind that line, that would have been a surefire shot opportunity that Gigi Edwards might have had to deal with.
Yeah, Middlebury definitely had numbers and the movement to create a chance, with Segru caught out in position as well. So could have been a mismatch. Would have cost them, but offside flag coming to save them in the end.
I mean, give the credit to Abby Ward, seeing that by pulling the ball to her left, she makes Anna Griffin step into that spot to cover, opening up the space for Cole. She engineered that nicely, but as you said, it's a bit too much. Tufts now. Summers, Birch, and Griffin playing keep away. And that is not what they do. Shin with a nice header out. But Griffin once again. O'Neill surveys. taken away nicely by Pettiford Rowan. She knows Verzi has space.
Yeah, you have to watch him behind now.
After her.
Oni with that loose pass could have been dangerous. Someone needs to cover, as she usually plays as that last woman. So you mentioned that defensive miscue that really cost them last year. Do not want a repeat of that if you're the Jumbos.
Kushner will take the throw in now for the Jumbos.
No one fighting for that ball, though.
Nicholas played back nicely to Kushner.
Threw into an area where there were 3 Panthers and no Jumbos.
Jolie Verzi coming in nicely on the trap, but Kushner plays a nice lob ball over to Screw.
Yeah, Verzi's an interesting case. She has... Oh, we have an attack here from Kelly, though. Nothing in at the end.
Once again, the presence of Maddie Shin at that defensive spot doesn't actually make the intervention there, but she's the one in the way that really closes off all options for Caroline Kelly, and she's kind of forced to hold on to it. Winds up out of bounds.
Gigi Day, finally, she's been waiting on this near sideline for a bit. Finally gets to enter the game. Last year's co-NESCAC Rookie of the Year, second team All-NESCAC, scored 7 goals, I believe, for the Panthers. Comes into the game in midfield, allows Pettiford Rowan to get a breather.
She could be the spark plug that perhaps Middlebury are missing. Kind of surprised for her not to start, I'd say. Having been, maybe she's only started half the games this season, but for a game like today, I had her listed on the starting 11.
Yeah, and I mean, as we said, you know, Pettiford Rowan is a little bit more of a true mid. Gigi Day plays a little bit higher up, so maybe now that they're trailing, seeing the need more to bring in that offensive firepower.
Still, you can see how much they rate the Jumbos' threat from corners. Even Verzi is all the way back to defend this set piece. So the Jumbos have been lethal from these opportunities.
Kelly now. High into the box. There's heads on it, but it's cleared out. Not all the way out. Anna Griffin bounces around. Oh, my goodness. And Middlebury taking a deep breath. That one bounced around, but obviously Carolyn Kelly would not have put that into the net.
Seemed to be a bit of miscommunication. Everyone kind of looking in awe and shock about what was about to happen. Luckily for them, sailed just past the far post, but Griffin could have had a shot. Ended up being kind of a deflected shot and bounced through the middle of the box. No harm done in the end, but good corner opportunity that was.
Couple nice placed passes from Middlebury, but eventually Tufts intervenes. Segru to Summers on the wing. Bertos on her. Pulls it around nicely. Really cheeky move. She's got space. Passes in the middle. Finds Sumner. She wanted to chip it over to Aries, but once again, the Panthers are where they're needed. Getman and Bertos, a little back and forth. Once again, Kelly's there when they try to find their strikers. Birch, pullback move, sees Aries. Chip around, move to Sumner. Oh, and this time it's Frankie Getman. Tufts generating opportunities, almost finding players up top to shoot. And Middlebury, another last-second takeaway. Kelly sees Sumner. Strike from outside.
Lovely save from Kelly. Sumner with the shot, just tipped over the bar. That could have been 2-0. And what build-up play from Aries. She's had not too many touches so far this half, but everyone has been incredibly impactful, creating chances, nutmegging defenders. She's really been cooking so far.
Yeah, the interplay between the Tufts attackers, they've been rotating, they've been creating small passing triangles and just leaving Middlebury in the dust. Here's another opportunity.
But impressive save from the 5'10 Kelly.
Nicholas a chance to get under it. But Sophia Cole's there. Sumner kick. Getman's in the way. Kushner sent up into the box again. Birch taps it off for Aries, looking for opportunities. Sumner on the wing, pulls inside, another shot. And that's not one that's ever going to get past Carolyn Kelly.
But still good to apply the pressure for Sumner. So always like to see that from a Jumbo standpoint. And, you know, test the net. Can't create, can't get shots, can't create goals without shots is what I'm trying to say. So well done there to get one off in the end.
Regarding that Kelly save, it was very reminiscent of when we saw Edwards make against Amherst earlier this past week. And that was when the Jumbos were 1-0 down. Potentially dark mirror for the Jumbos that they're looking into. Middlebury still plotting their comeback.
Day with a nicely paced ball up to Swindle. Pulls it around nicely, but there's a third defender. She got two, you can't get three. Caroline O'Neill with a nice takeaway. And Swindle in her fight to get it back.
O'Neill doing a good
Fouling
job
O'Neill.
to fight off that pressure and absorb the contact to give herself some time and win the foul.
Kushner. Over the head of Uzi Patton, but Bertos gets under it. Verzi now. All her foot. Nice move around Emily Nicholas. Now she's got time. Another nice move from Verzi and a great shot to the middle, but it's right into the hands of Gigi Edwards.
Yeah, Edwards.
Not the placement she wanted, if the power.
She saw that one all the way. Well done by her.
15 for 5.
Some good news for Jumbo fans. If you haven't been following the away games, you might not have known that Marin Jones missed those last two games with a sprain, but she is coming back in here. It's like she's never been gone on Bello alongside Aoife O'Reilly in the midfield.
Yeah,
Summers now.
in these last 20 minutes as well, we make sure you hold on to this 1-0 lead, perhaps add another, as we know that the first half of these games can be so crucial, and for Middlebury, that's really their strong suit. So if you can get past that, you'll be in prime position to jump Middlebury in the D3 rankings.
Tufts playing it around with it in the midfield. Chopped back now, and O'Neill will have a look at her options. Middlebury letting off with the press a little bit, all but Jolie Verzi in their own half. Segru up, and Shin once again intervening. Kelly, tried to have a nice little spin move, but Gigi Day was there just a bit too early. Tessa Broderick. Tufts playing up higher. Nice drop off for Swindle, and the look back the goal has too much gas.
As we've seen so many times, that midfield will rotate out for this last 20. Consistency is key for this Jumbo squad, and as you mentioned, Jones, delight to see her back on the pitch as well. O'Reilly also shuffling in for Birch and Kelly. Caroline Kelly, that is, of Tufts.
Eva O'Reilly getting her first touch. Sees Sumner, who plays it up to Aries. Fight with Shin. Tufts will hold on to possession. Jones drop back to Nicholas. Another similar drop back, kind of in open space this time, and Segru has to chase it down. O'Neill at the back. Verzi cross-field sprint to create some pressure. Kushner gets past two defenders, but the pressure reaps a little bit of benefit, and it'll go the other way.
It's not a bad option for Kushner in that 2-on-1 situation. More favorable option just to get rid. But Middlebury be looking to move up the field now.
Another throw in. O'Reilly sees Sumner. Patton ball in the middle. Bertos to her left. Good ball to the wing. Kind of a bit of a spin on it, makes it bounce around, and Anna Griffin can't control it. Abby Ward with a nice move to pull it back to the middle, but Segru's there. Once again, Middlebury holding it into the zone until Griffin gets under it and sends it high and wide.
Seems to be caught in between two minds there, or either shield it out or get rid, and in the last minute she seemed to decide get rid, but could have been dangerous as well. Need to be a bit more precise in those decisions, as that ball bobbled around in the box, and good coverage there from Segru in the end, but have to commit.
Yeah, I mean, fool me once. The first time Griffin tries to keep Ward on her back, it doesn't go so well. Ward with a nice fight for the ball, and the second time learns from that first encounter, decides to just clear it out. O'Neill with a good clearance. It's Patton who gets a head under it. Now Nicholas Summers. Middlebury forcing up a little bit higher. Tufts has to drop back. O'Neill. Ball finds Aries, who collects nicely. Drop back for Emily Nicholas. High ball on the wing. But Getman gets a head under it and controls. But the second control, it appears, is with the arm. It'll go the other way.
Yeah, and Tufts, as we've seen so many times already, just connecting, managing to find a way to connect defense to offense to midfield, and Aries being a big part of that as well. As the ball played up, Aries collected, and in the end, free kick perhaps in a dangerous location.
Segru now. A lot of juice on that, and straight into the hands of Carolyn Kelly.
In the meantime, Tufts are preparing an attacking line change. Usually Anna Griffin would be among that, but she, having started the game at right back, isn't in that rotation, so that will be Camille Liu taking her place to check in at the next opportunity, alongside Juliana Rosen and Hannah Batt, who are more familiar faces at this point in the game.
And now we'll get some substitutions for Middlebury. Striker Mia Feldman and Carolina Espinosa will go into the game. Meanwhile, for Tufts, Juliana Rosen getting minutes on her senior day, coming to the game along with Camille Liu and number 22, Hannah Batt.
Yeah, it makes it 3 seniors on the pitch today. Perhaps we might see Natalie Rinker if towards the end of the game, but obviously seeing out the result of utmost priority, but would be nice to see. Corner there.
It's good work by Batt, her first involvement of the game. Wins another opportunity, and Maren Jones has been so deadly from these corner kicks.
We've seen for Bat kind of be that replacement for Aries whenever legs get tired, and she's been able to at least take advantage with a goal on the season. So, good win from her there. Maybe she could add one today.
Jones now making her placement and getting ready to kick it in. It's a little bit short and low for Rosen to get under it, but in a tough spot with 2 Middlebury defenders on her back, she can't control.
I think Jones has really made her trademark delivery, that chipped shot in towards the penalty spot. That one a bit of a change-up, and it didn't quite come off as Rosen couldn't get around it.
Yeah, normally would be Kelly on those far side corners. Jones in her place now, but attack still there.
Hannah Batt, nice move into the middle, sends it wide. Oh, and past the hands of Carolyn Kelly. It was an open net in the middle, but Camille Liu can't quite get to it. A golden chance for Tufts.
Golden chance on a golden day, it must be said. The sun is really shining right now. It's a great day to be out here on Bello.
Oh, and a nice move from Abby Ward to control around Anna Griffin, but the pass not up to the quality of the ball handling. It'll go the other way.
That's that senior experience. No, some great skill on display so far. Great passing as well from the Panthers now.
Ward now, pull in to her right. Into the middle, it's Mia Feldman. Has no option. She's signaling to the ground for her players, has to drop it back. Broderick, Feldman. Tries to work it up the wing to Espinosa, but Kushner, once again, playing that move on the body and letting the ball find the end line.
Good fight from her to win her team a goal kick. Heading into the last 12 of this first half. I'd say it's been pretty exciting from a tough standpoint, and a lot of what they've wanted to see. Middlebury definitely been applying the pressure more recently, and perhaps with those subs of Feldman and Gigi Day more bit earlier, they could perhaps create something, but Tufts doing a good job of absorbing that pressure, moving the ball, and rotating it out, as we see here.
That is what we said, though. They will certainly want a cushion in this game. I will be shocked if this game were to end 1-0 as it stands right now.
Cushion for Kushner? That could be good. Sorry. Oh, good skill.
We'll cross that bridge when we get to it.
You already saw one senior deliver on senior day. Perhaps it could be two.
Anna Griffin now with a challenge. And hands go in the air, and it ends up being a call on, I believe, Gigi Day by Anna Griffin. Once again, that contact down on the right back spot. Getting a whistle from Middlebury. Abby Ward up into the middle, and it slips around. Oh my goodness, and almost a fatal miscue as Segru and Edwards come in for the ball simultaneously, and it slips through both, but just too far, and they will hold on.
That is a huge let-off for Tufts. If there had been any Panther remotely in the vicinity, that would have been one of the easiest goals they would score of their careers. As it happened, everyone had front-loaded the near post, and Tufts just about got away with that one.
Feldman. Kushner there to knock it out of bounds.
The last sub of the front six that started will be coming momentarily. Sarah Hawk set to come in for Emily Nicholas.
Broderick with a really nice place ball into the middle, but one GGJ just can't quite get under.
Sub will come in now. Sarah Hawk with her second goal of the season against Bates last weekend to make it 3-1 for the Jumbos. So she's been in good goal scoring form. She'll take the place of Emily Nicholas for the rest of this half. Another one of the impressive freshman midfielders so far this year, in addition to Jones.
Griffin on the wing. Into the middle nicely from Aaron Jones. O'Neill now, she's been getting a lot of touches from the back here for Tufts. Plays it up, but Patton gets a foot under it nicely and will send it out for a Tufts throw. Eva O'Reilly. Trying to work on Chloe Swindle. Has to drop it back for Kushner and forced out of bounds by nice wing pressure from Middlebury. Broderick and Lou colliding, able to manage it away to Middlebury. Espinosa knocking it off Kushner for another throw.
Yeah, Kushner having to deal with a lot of pressure here on this left side. Lots of numbers being applied, and sometimes the best alternative is just to get rid, and she's been able to shore that side of the defense up.
Played up to bat, but knocked away by Espinosa, so Swindle will control the midfield now. Bertos. Taking touches up to the middle, and nobody coming to meet her. Sees Day. Nice ball up to Feldman, but once again, Tufts defense dare to play the body and guide it out.
Yeah, Griffin doing a good job just getting in between the ball and her woman. Manages to see that one sail out of bounds. Will be Edwards to restart. Just over 8 minutes now in this first half to go.
Still a couple warning signs from Middlebury. Tufts don't or will not want to let up at the end of this first half.
Nicely controlled by Hawk. Sees Jones in the middle. Dropping it off for Segru. Oh, and that is not well read. Abby Ward coming out of nowhere. And what a brilliant control. The ref calls it just out of bounds. But once again, Abby Ward making the Jumbos hold their breath with a really nice takeaway. And as you said, a really well-paced drive down the side.
No, there might not be any speed stats in the NESCAC, but that was quite something. Abby Ward flying down that left-hand side, almost kept it in. And perhaps why she's leading her team in goals with 4 on the season.
What pace rating you giving her, Max?
I mean, got to be at least a 90. That was that was out of nowhere.
I'm going to say 90 plus 2 at the left wing position.
There you go.
Shin. Bertos plays to the middle. O'Neill, timely intervention, has runners. Nice move.
Little stop and start from O'Neill.
Plays it off. Wide into the middle and a bit too wide into the middle. Camille Liu cannot get to that.
Fanny Lodge is going to come in now for Chloe Swindle. Just give them a bit more energy in the midfield to close out this first half. So they want to make sure it doesn't get any more lopsided in Tufts' favor.
Fanny Lodge, the Cambridge, Mass native, perhaps a bit of a homecoming for her as well. Sure, her parents would like to see her in play today.
Feldman doing work on the high press. First forcing O'Neill to make a somewhat poorly timed pass back and then pressuring Segru into a kick that gets almost taken away, but it winds up off of Feldman's boot and Tufts will retain. Jones with a nice kick out. Broderick's there. Plays to the middle where Sarah Hawk takes it. Sees Griffin almost once again. Abby Ward. Tufts not really realizing how far away Abby Ward needs to be to keep her off the ball. And she is making them pay.
Set
This
up an
time,
exclusion
get away
zone.
with
Yeah, no, it's a great point. This Middlebury offense will perhaps not be exact same in terms of production compared to Tufts. Still very much a threat throughout. Maybe not recently, but have been able to deliver big time in some non-conference games, it must be said, but definitely know when it's time to turn up.
O'Reilly with a nice turn move. Hawk now playing it back to her defenders, and Feldman almost there. Segru clears. Hawk forces the pressure that makes him drop it off to Griffin. Jones now back to her right foot. And Middlebury having some success with this press, forcing Tufts to work it around the back.
They'll win it after that.
Patton not able to get it around, and it's called by the sideline referee to be out of bounds.
Yeah, as you mentioned, that Middlebury press could prove to. Oh, we're going the other way.
The line judge was pretty certain that it was going for Middlebury, but it's going to be a free kick, actually.
Nope, it's
Foul
a free
called?
kick. Yep. Contact on the wing there that made her slide for it. Made Juliana Rosen have to slide, and that's what the call will be. It'll go this way for the Jumbos. Sumner. Espinosa able to get under it. Nicely controlled and played off to the wing by Fanny Lodge. But Tufts, once again, able to take it away. Jones, Espinosa with a nicely timed ball into Day, but O'Neal is there. Day trying to fight for it from the ground, no such luck. Bertos with a nice header. Griffin up to Sumner. Bat in the middle, sees Lou. Lou and Bat just a little bit miscommunication on that pass, and finds her back.
Yeah, a bit too much on it there from Lou, but still good attack there. Could have turned into something. Perhaps Lou and Bat not as experienced working with each other as Aries and Kelly are, for example.
Kushner and Feldman, a little bit of contact on the back as Feldman approached the line, and they'll call it Panther ball. Roderick stepping up to take the free kick. And really nicely booted up into the middle. Lodge will head it around, but Hawk gets under it. Sarah Hawk with a nice control and a nifty turnaround move. Once again, though, the pass, not the quality of the skill.
Yeah, I've seen some great skill today. I don't know what was in their the Tufts Jumbo's breakfast, but they've been showing off some great skills, and maybe that pass just letting them down a little bit.
Rosen. Getman with an interception and a nice takeaway. She'll control it to the middle. Maddie Shin. Bertos.
It's that long ball there. Griffin on the far side. Kind of have to rotate out with Segru now, playing that right back role.
Ward today. And the ball that makes Gigi Edwards go to the ground, but that's pretty routine for her. She'll hold on to it.
Almost spilled there. Could have been dangerous, but got her hands on the end.
Yeah. Feldman working like a hawk, hoping that Edwards would let go of that one, but no such luck. Bertos taken away by O'Reilly. Drops it off to Rosen, and she's running. Assessing her options. Getman there once again to take it away, but Rosen holds on. Pulls it to her right. Getman playing the body and guiding it out of bounds. A move we've seen from Tufts a lot on their own end line, this time utilized by the Panthers.
Yeah, both sides definitely not afraid to throw in a body. We've seen that from Griffin many times, trying to fight for every ball, and good job there from the Middlebury defenders as well to shield that one, see it out of play. Less than 90 seconds now.
Shin. O'Neal able to get a header on it, but still going Middlebury's direction. Played up to Espinosa. Kushner on the ball. Espinosa forced out to the wing, drops it off for Feldman. Turns and sees Broderick.
1 minute remaining.
Espinosa with a nice little drop-off pass to Feldman. Tried to see Espinosa back, and there was just way too much room for her to convene on that one in the middle. Kushner out wide for a header.
And Kushner not willing to take any chances with the shield as that ball was kind of spinning. Maybe Espinosa could have gotten a touch on that. Saw it out for a throw. Will be a Tufts throw now.
Middlebury have been looking a bit more threatening towards the end of this first half, and Tufts will think that they can shield this one out for a 1-0 lead into the half, but Middlebury still putting on the pressure.
And they'll come away with it now.
Gigi Day with a nice move to maintain possession. Drops back for Broderick. High to the wing where Griffin gets under it.
Good header from her.
7,
Perfectly placed for her
And
teammate.
4, 3, 2.
Back to Getman Lodge. Maybe his time expires against Segru.
Screw a bit unhappy with that shot, saying there was no need. Time was up. But good block from her in the end. And the Tufts will take a 1-0 lead into the half. Pretty impressive stuff from them.
I think it definitely is. As we said, it's an early goal from them, just 6 seconds past that 10-minute mark that we highlighted at the start, so we don't quite get the plaudits on that one, but Nicholas Summers with an absolute wonder goal, just running onto effectively a dead ball and catching out the Middlebury defense completely. And Tufts were dominant for long periods, especially in the early stages of that game. It kind of fizzled out towards the end, and Middlebury started to make inroads towards the Tufts goal as the half wore on, but they will really be looking to capitalize on those opportunities as we go into the second half.
Yeah, I think Aries will definitely be looking to take advantage of maybe some of those tired legs in the Middlebury defense, and she had her spot replaced by Hannah Batt, but I think we're in for a very exciting second half.
Yeah, and don't go anywhere. We'll be back. As you said, 45 more minutes of intense soccer to be played. We'll see you soon. And welcome back to this conference women's soccer matchup between the Tufts University Jumbos and the Middlebury Panthers. After 45 minutes, it is 1-0 in favor of the home team. Guys, in the first half, tons of chances on both ends, a lot of high pressure for both teams and opportunities. Not turned into a ton of shots or obviously a ton of goals, only one throughout the first 45. What do we think is going to happen in the second half? Are we going to see a repeat of a pretty clean score sheet, or do you think these teams are going to start getting on the board?
I think it's going to continue to be KG. In my opinion, I think Middlebury really started to find their footing as we entered into halftime. Pretty even across the shots, 7 for Tufts, 4 for Middlebury. We've seen that Tufts have outshot them in the past 2 games and past 2 matchups, but for Middlebury, I don't think they're going out of this one without a fight, and Tufts will, I think, continue to try to produce. Sumner on 3 shots already, so she'll be back in the starting 11 for this half, and I think she's going to continue to produce.
I think I'm going to go the other way. I think this will go to a much higher scoring game than it is currently. You say not many shots, but Tufts had 7 shots in that first half. Middlebury with 4 of their own. And I think especially with the Tufts starters back on the pitch, who were so threatening at the start of the game overall, that will be something to look for. And also, as Middlebury start to sneak into this game, if they get a goal, you know for sure Tufts are going to go hell for leather and make sure to get that lead back.
So it really seems like to be a case of next goal wins, or next goal influences the match for sure. So excited to see how this one turns out.
Anna Griffin stepping in nicely to create the header, but Abby Ward winds up holding on. Nice move around Nicholas Summers. Maddie Shin plays it safe off to Patton. Not as
so
safe. Bertos, that one just really a bit lazily dropped off, but Bertos there in time to control it out. And here she is again, doesn't get under it as she was hoping to, and sends it out wide.
Segru perhaps maybe had some more time to control there, opted to just clear, but yeah, straight to it, bit of pinball action.
Griffin assessing her options, drops it off short to Birch. Nice pullback move. And Lizzie Patton goes to the deck as Tufts holds on to it. Played back by Nicholas to Segru. Nicholas again. Thought Birch was running a bit further and sends it out.
Yeah, I think Birch wanted that to be played a bit towards her feet, but still a good idea from Nicholas. And, Summers now away with it.
Tries playing it into the middle. Waverly Sumner now. Drop off to Kelly. Back inside. Almost has to go from way outside. Aries tried to get under it on the volley and couldn't quite control it.
He saw how good she was on the volley against Endicott, but that one there, a bit of a miscue. Tufts attack still on, though.
Sumner.
4th registered shot of the day, 3rd on target for Sumner. She's been really producing.
On her left foot as well. Got a decent amount of power behind that, but again, from that angle, so difficult to get it, especially on that left foot.
Yeah, I saw some another trend, a shot from Caroline Kelly outside the box. Really starting to stick with what works well. Ooh.
Nicholas plays it too long on Griffin, and now Ward has control in the middle.
As we mentioned, she's got that 90-plus pace, so need to be careful on that far side.
Yeah, and another thing on Tufts' offensive end, now that we've got the sun facing down this way, it's going to be hard to read those from the outside for Carol and Kelly looking into those bright spots, and they might try to take advantage of that by shooting from a little further outside than usual. Ward now on her right foot, quickly wanted Feldman in the middle but didn't have her. Now does. Feldman, an opportunity. Turned away by O'Neill, but a funny bounce back to Kushner.
Yeah, as we've seen a few times in the past, Griffin kind of caught up high in advance, allowing Ward to really break through the lines there, and O'Neill and Segru, luckily, as always, there to cover, but need to be cautious, especially with those bouncing balls.
Sophia Cole trying to stave off Jordan Kushner. The latter knocks it out. Cole in the Feldman. Can't get it around Sumner, who drops it off for O'Neill. Birch and Sumner. Birch again. And chooses to pull it back and find Kelly in the middle. Kelly, nice move around Lodge, but the ladder sticks around. Out to Summers. Nice pass to Nicholas, but a bit high, and she can't control.
Yeah, Summers wanted the 1-2 there and tried to find her woman, but clipped a bit too high into the feet of Nicholas and deflects off her out of bounds.
Frankie Getman into Gigi Day. Nicely sent long, but O'Neal read it and was there in time. Back off to Edwards, who will clear.
Yeah, just clipped the top of Segru. Perhaps a bit too fast for her, but that center-back partnership works so well.
And a little ping-pong in the ball around here. Tufts winds up holding on. Birch. Oh, goes for a nice tap-around move on Bertos, but the ladder reads it nicely. Birch now taking a look at her options with 2 defenders on her back. Aries, nice pull around on Shin. Shin not going anywhere. Summers, not as much power on this one, and Birch not able to redirect.
It's a bit of a strange. I thought that was lined up for a shot. Ended up being a pass and just rolled very gently into the hands of Kelly. I think Summers could have ripped that one, but perhaps something else caught her eye and nothing in the end. Think that will go down as a shot on goal, perhaps, but
Summers looking for a brace on the anniversary of her first ever collegiate goal 3 years ago today against UMass Boston. She also, with that goal, is only 1 point shy of the top 25 points leaders in Tufts program history. She's trying to get every ounce she can out of this last grad season.
Especially with a goal against Amherst, that would make it back-to-back goals, or it's already been back-to-back goals, but would want to produce even more. A brace on the day would be exceptional.
Cole up top. Nicely placed ball out to Broderick on the wing. And Sumner's there. Tufts ball.
As you mentioned, Summers high up on that points tally. What can you tell us about Aries as well? She's been very much climbing.
She really has. She was already very high up in the standings for a sophomore at the end of last season, but now with those goals against Bates and Amherst, she has propelled herself into the top 5 all-time scorers for the Jumbos, and she still has a good season and a half to get out of that. She is really aiming to take a till at those top 3.
Aries and Kelly play around with it nicely in the midfield, and now it's Sumner. Drop off to Aries. Bertos and Getman forced to the inside to guard Aries. Kelly now knocked away by Lodge, but she holds on to it. And a little bit of first contact was clean. Second one, Kelly goes to the ground, and they'll call it.
And despite that contact, she still managed to find that pass out wide to Summers. She didn't seem to be too interested in continuing to play, so advantage drawn back, and Kelly will be on point to take the free kick.
Now is that Caroline Kelly versus Caroline Kelly directly going to come to a head here?
Can she repeat her magic against MIT? Oh, she wanted to. You could clearly tell she had her eye for goal, and that one is just a bit too high up, but oh, what a chance.
Yeah, and Middlebury being forced to respect it, sending out the wall even from that far out. Caroline Kelly taking the ambitious step, but just sending it a bit too high. Fanny Lodge pulls it around on her right foot nicely. But Kelly catches up with her and takes it away.
Incredible hustle there. Offensive and defensive plays being made.
Taking away the ball from a player 9 inches taller than her.
It really shows her determination and never back down.
Birch and Aries with the takeaway as a unit. Sumner now. Knocked away and Bertos clears. Lodge up to Feldman. They're running, but it's stopped quickly by Segru, who reads it well and comes up to take it away. Kelly. Segru taken away again by Ward. She's been having a lot of those interceptions. Up to Feldman. Feldman having a go from distance. And Gigi Edwards is the Jumbo's saving grace. Mia Feldman with an absolute rocket to the top left bin.
That looked poised for the top left upper 90, but Edwards with a big hand to it. We saw an outstanding save from Kelly in this same goal in the first half. Edwards responding with one of her own. Middlebury will get a corner out of it, but Edwards keeping the clean sheet in dramatic fashion.
And it bounces around. Broderick wanted to get under it, but O'Neill will send it out long for a header and get a chance to take a breath for the Jumbos.
And Edwards, especially at only 5'6", getting up high to tip that one over, and really goes to show why she's solidified her starting place in between the sticks, dating back to last year as well as a freshman. But another corner.
Fanny Lodge will step up to take it. Kushner there with a nice knock away on an intended cross to the middle from Sophia Cole. Now they'll set up to do something similar from the set. And Middlebury coming in close. It's low and hard, and they come in to try and redirect it, but no such luck.
As you see again, Abby Ward with that pace was completely free, but the ball just bounced awkwardly. She couldn't get over it and get good contact on it. But had that been on the ground, Abby Ward had a chance to put that on frame.
Kushner fighting for it with Sophia Cole. Cole wins it, sends it to the middle, but Segru with a clean header out. And ball winds up back to the Middlebury middle line. Lucy Patton from way outside, and they are getting ambitious, and Gigi Edwards having to get her hands dirty a little bit.
Yeah, there's some strong shots there from the Middlebury attackers, really stinging the hands of Edwards, but she's been alert to it, and Tufts able to perhaps build a counterattack.
It was a fantastic pump by Edwards. Found straight to Aries. Couldn't do anything with it in the end.
Patton with a nice defensive play there to take it away.
Sean Purcell going to come back into the game after leaving the first half with an apparent injury, so good to see that she is still okay.
Float over the top of Griffin, though.
Ward now, and Griffin convenes on her at the critical moment.
Yeah, reading that long ball is key, and something perhaps that might be new to her in that position, but something we know from her role as a winger is that she has certainly got the pace to match Ward, and perhaps the strategic decision for Coach Whiting to select her in place of Arcella and Holzberline, as we've seen earlier in the season. Ooh, bit of a trip there.
Collision deemed to be incidental. In the end, it should just go out for a goal kick.
But yeah,
Once
that's
again,
kind of been the only real point of change so far in this starting 11, besides that non-conference matchup against Regis. But Griffin has certainly, as we head into the later stages of this season as well, will be a position to watch, and I think a player to watch as well.
Burge can't control it, but can get the nice takeaway. Thought she had something on the right wing and didn't. Purcell will corral it back.
Yeah,
to
more of
Caroline
a
Kelly.
hopeful ball there up for Summers, hoping she'd latch onto that, but Middlebury grateful that nobody was there to collect.
Shin up to Cole, who drops it back nicely. Some really nice work around in the midfield for Middlebury. Feldman assessing her options. Lodge, good idea, but a bit too much. Kushner plays it out. Caroline Kelly. Nicholas drops it back and finds Birch.
She's got some room to work with. We'll find the run of Griffin, though. But
Once
Ward's
again,
so speedy.
Abby Ward, almost too many interceptions to count on this wing. Something to keep an eye on. The Jumbos are going to need to sort of figure it out on there and be a little bit more cautious with those passes. Edwards takes it in. Once again, Middlebury having their tries from Wong. That one a bit more of a pass on the cross, but still testing Edwards' hands.
You have to wonder if that cross happened in the first half or when Edwards was facing the sun, would have been much trickier to deal with.
A bit too much on it. Summers got it! And once again, Middlebury forced to play Aries. It was almost a double. They came across to take her, and they didn't see that they had another white shirt to deal with You said, what if Nicholas Summers went for a brace? She might have heard you.
I like to say got the commentator's blessing, not the commentator's curse, but what a transition that was from defense to offense. Edwards with the collect, cleared it out, found Aries who slipped it through to Summers, and she makes it 2 on the day, 3 in the last 2 games, and 3 perhaps of the biggest goals of her collegiate career, coming against the previously undefeated Amherst and undefeated Middlebury, it seems to be right now.
That is huge. As we said, they needed that cushion just to make sure of things. The Tufts have not gone up 2 goals and then proceeded to lose in the last 15 years and counting.
Middlebury now going into the huddle, maybe resetting the game plan, as now they are fully doing the playing play from behind soccer with 30 minutes to play. That's plenty of time. We'll see how they address this second jumbo goal.
As you mentioned, the sun in their eyes, Middlebury having to face into that. That'll make it even more of a tough task. But Middlebury, such a resolute team, never over until it's over.
Stella Espinas going to come in here. Next opportunity for Lodge in midfield.
Birch, great pace to pull it past Patton, but she gets tripped up on it, and it'll go back.
Summers was making the run through on goal as well. Could have been a hat trick for her.
Feldman with a couple nice reads to retain control, but the pass is too long.
Tufts definitely going to be looking to take their time and play it out the back when there's no pressure, as 30 minutes to go. Want to make sure you make smart decisions.
And Birch, not the job off she was looking for, as Fanny Lodge intervened. Tufts now in the driver's seat. Do they have a license? Middlebury will try to prove that they can come from behind, as they have not had to do so far. Kelly clearance. Bertos winning the header against Aries. Jean Purcell knocked away nicely by Aries, and Summers will find her in the middle. Tufts with runners. Played up nicely to Birch. She's got a lot of daylight, but Maddie Shin is a fast defender. Birch pulls it back to her left foot. Oh, tries to pull it to her right and trips up on it. There's no call. Nicholas retains. Kelly has a go, and once again, Middlebury there when they're needed.
That was a good no
this
call.
This time it's Day.
Good no call on the Birch going down. She just stood on the ball with both her legs at once. She didn't mean to. Went down. No contact from the Panthers defender.
Yeah, it seemed like legs kind of locked up. Oh, shot. Another shot for Sumner.
Both these teams delivering high-powered shots from outside and hoping something goes awry for the opposite tenders. Bertos.
You mentioned Summers with 3 goals in her last 2, also 5 in her last 4. She's really come to life after a somewhat disappointing start to the season where it took her a while to get going, and now she is certainly going.
And also had a goal against Wesleyan in the first 5 minutes. So she really knows when to turn up in the biggest of opponents. So
it's now matched last year's goal tally with 5. Looking to get a hat trick today and make it 6.
Here's Caroline Kelly once again. It's Maddie Shin at the critical moment. Reese Birch probably had 25 feet of space to work with on this right wing on that last play, and Maddie Shin closed it off in a second and a half, maybe.
Speed on display absolutely for Middlebury, and definitely not going to let this one get away from them if they can't help it.
Summers now. Nice turn, but it's read by Lodge, who sees Feldman. Mia Feldman. Ward on the wing. What can she do with it? Pulls it out to her left. Griffin not going anywhere. And she wanted to find Mia Feldman in the middle, but Caroline Kelly was there to carve it out.
I lied earlier. Summers now is on 6 goals, so she is now in her best season as a collegiate player. 6 goals, 3 assists so far.
Even better. As you mentioned, Espinas coming in, her first minutes of the game. Can she make it a productive 28?
Purcell knows she has Aries and forced to pull it back. Oh, but a nice move. Feldman almost was gone and away with it. But Tufts up to the challenge when needed. It's a Griffin clearance.
Yeah, that one kind of just to move the lines up. No real target intended, but does give Tufts a bit of breathing room.
Espinas and Shin back and forth. Headed out to Waverly Sumner, but Tessa Broderick is there to control. Birch takeaway. Summers not able to find anything on the opposite side. It's Sophia Cole who takes it away. Bertos scanning. Purcell on the wing. A nicely placed ball up for Day, but Kushner reads it well and falls in to take it. Birch with the shoulder. Espinas. Feldman looking for options. Has Abby Ward. Back to Feldman. Tons of space. Has a go. And it's not quite where she wanted it. Through the uprights. A powerful shot, to say the least, but she can't keep it down.
Yeah, it would have been 3 points if we were playing a different game, but still some power in those boots from Feldman. You're already seeing 2 cracking shots on frame, and that one, she seemed to have a bit too much space onto her. And Tufts perhaps getting a bit tired. You need to close those opportunities down, as 1 is all it takes from Middlebury perspective to get things going.
Nicholas. Off to Sumner, who will play it back. Tufts working it around their own end. Summers turn and look.
Ooh.
And Espinas got in the way, but with a hand it'll...
It's hard to see that wasn't accidental. To put a hand up to intervene with that. Correctly called, but a bit of a strange one there.
I think they were just waiting to make sure it didn't go to a Tufts player in the end.
Yeah, and that it did, but Tufts now will retain possession.
Nicholas played up nicely wide, but Birch and Summers not quite able to catch up with it.
Yeah, Tufts really aiming to look for that long ball. Had Birch making that run in behind. You've seen some searching attempts from Segru and O'Neill in the past as well. So, ooh, some pressure there. Sumner, give it another go.
Trying to control it through a few Middlebury defenders and just has to chip it off. An easy roller for Carolyn Kelly. Aries creating pressure high. Gets knocked around a little bit, and Berto says, I don't want anything to do with this.
Nobody there to contest it. We'll be on the second bounce.
Kushner pulls it back. And we'll play it back to Gigi Edwards. Feldman up high. O'Neill sees Kelly coming to the ball from the midfield. She has a nice control. Waverly Sumner. O'Neill and Kushner trying to find a way out of this back corner. They're controlling it nicely. And they find that way out in Caroline Kelly.
What
Nice
a ball.
ball high to Elsie Aries. But Carolyn Kelly reading it well to come out of her box.
Kelly on Kelly action. Saw that ball from Tufts Kelly. Almost found her woman in Aries. Beautifully placed, but Kelly, the keeper, playing a bit higher line, was able to get a foot and stop that attack.
Aries, drop back for Nicholas. Time in the midfield.
I see that Tufts midfield really have so much space to work with. They can turn, assess their options, and really scan the field, which they've been able to take great advantage of.
Kelly does well to get onto it. Griffin sees her back. Crosses it nicely for Birch, who has all day and just high of the bar. Caroline Kelly with a beautiful find in the middle, and Birch will want that one back.
What a first touch that was from Birch as well, chesting it to set herself up beautifully for the volley, but that one just over the crossbar. It could have been another Sports Center top 10. Oh my.
She did the hard part, as you say. That control was the difficult part, but Middlebury left her completely open. Birch is the one of this midfield three who hasn't been on the score sheet recently. Got 2 goals in the first 3. Recently hasn't gotten anything else. So nearly there.
Middlebury can turn defense into
Cole.
attack.
Cole from way outside. And once again, almost creating something from deep. They have been shooting from whenever, wherever. Sorry, other way around. Not out of this one yet.
Yeah, exactly. No, that transition play, so key to keep an eye out for. I mean, we saw Tufts execute that brilliantly for their second goal. Middlebury could have got one on the board there, but thankfully for Edwards, that one went past the far post.
Bertos with control now at center. Jolie Verzi. Little step over move, pulls it to her right. Caroline Kelly drops back to add a defender. Bertos. Espinaz senses Sumner on her back and plays it out to the wing. Sophia Cole. Once again, gets under it a bit too much. We've seen a lot of balls volleying over the frames on both sides.
Yeah, Middlebury now really starting to put up the shots. They know that it might be time to start getting urgent as we head into the final 20. They know that they need to get going in order to get back into this game. And for Tufts, I'm kind of surprised they're letting them have those opportunities and not closing it down a bit quicker. We saw Kelly recognize that space and close down some opportunity, but need to be more alert there, especially with those balls breaking through the lines.
Verzi towards the center. Takes on two defenders and puts one on net from an inopportune position with a lot of pressure, but nothing Gigi Edwards is worried about.
Even with that said, Middlebury, you would think they will have expected to be on the score sheet by now with the quality of chances they've had. They forced at least one high-quality save out of Gigi Edwards. They've had another couple of really solid opportunities they haven't been able to capitalize on. On the balance of play, this should probably be 2-1.
Sophia Cole drop off for Verzi. Has it go on the ground, and it's out wide.
Yeah, another opportunity there. Middlebury almost equal in shots now. Tufts standing at 15. That would be Middlebury's 13th shot. As Tufts now making their first sub of the second half will be Aoife O'Reilly in for Reese Birch, who almost had that brilliant chance to make it 3-0. But 2-0 in the end, still pretty good from the Jumbo's perspective.
The words from the bench, that touch was so good, and it sure was. Focus on the positives.
Caroline Kelly facing three defenders, wins it regardless. Aries in the middle. Drop off for Sumner now, who has O'Reilly, but that is not the ball she wanted to send. Tessa Broderick controls easily.
Yeah, she would have been in there, as that was Broderick who played a bit higher up, so would have been lots of space in behind, but that final ball not there, not quite there.
Broderick has been so impressive this season. As we say, only a first year, coming into a team that, as we say, until today, had not trailed on the year. That takes some doing.
Segru, nice work to keep it away from Patton and send it out. Sophia Cole driving down the wing. Emily Nicholas with a well-timed intervention to send it out for a header.
And something we've seen quite consistently, especially in these big-time matchups, that back four for Tufts will always stay in to try to play out the full 90. And, oh, given away, though.
Sent to the middle for Ward, but Segru there when it matters. And Sophia Cole winds up out of bounds with it. Once again, Middlebury starting to put the press on. They know the position they're in. Tufts needs to keep them out. They've been creating something.
Yeah, and I think that's why Coach Whiting really trusts her team and in that back four to see these kinds of games out. But we know that the final 15 has been kind of their kryptonite. Maybe not as much in recent games, but with only 3 goals conceded in the last 5. So as long as they can see this one out, they'll be delighted with the result.
Summer does nicely to find Aries. O'Reilly now facing off against Bertos. Drops back to Griffin. Aries, Patton, and O'Reilly all up for it.
We barely mentioned it, but Tufts are on a 5-game win streak.
Yeah. No, this has been a great run of form.
Coming off a win over, as we said, previously undefeated Amherst with an unbelievable late goal by Elsie Aries. Hasn't gotten amongst the goals today. Did get that assist for the second Nicola Summers score.
Yeah, and they've seen all kinds of numbers. 6 goals, 5 goals, 4 goals, 3 goals, 2 goals for them in each of their last 5. So they've really managed to collect all the numbers there.
Happy they don't have to rely on 1 today.
Yeah, 2 is definitely where you want to be.
O'Reilly, O'Neill, and Kushner is the one who sends it up for Aries.
Summers making the run, though.
Aries wasn't really able to turn it around and find runners, forced to push it back. And once again, Abby Ward almost creating a chance off a just a bit too slow pass to the center.
Yeah, we've seen from Abby Ward, she can just pounce so quickly on those loose balls. Ooh, seemed to be a deflection off the hand, but it'll be a tough throw anyways. But yeah, as you mentioned, Abby Ward can just create those chances from pretty much nothing, as she almost jumped on the loose pass. So Tufts need to make advantage of the space they are given.
Bertos trying to hold off Kelly in the middle. She'll drop it back to Purcell.
Juliana Rose and Aaron Duncan ready to come in at the next whistle.
Espinas drops it back.
It's interesting that Coach Whiting is still holding off on subbing out her midfield at this point in the game with 15 minutes left.
Aries finds Kelly. Turn around on Shin. Bouncing ball is controlled by Broderick out to Espinas. Really nice find. Cole, Patton, beautifully played up to Espinas, and they're running.
Kusher's gonna have to make up ground there.
Could this be a chance? Espinas beautifully sent into the middle, but Segru's there. And Verzi almost able to get under it. And Espinas will approach the flag to take this corner kick.
Big opportunity there, and Middlebury again just ramping up the pressure. Time is starting to tick away.
High into the middle. Cole gets under it, but a little bit too much under it. Kelly headed. And it's O'Reilly who ultimately clears it. Bertos. And once again, Middlebury having a go from outside. This one not really creating as much of a sweat for Gigi Edwards. It's far out right.
That one with the left foot kind of hooked wide was never going to threaten the goal of Edwards, and she can take her time as two subs about to come in. Aaron Duncan, also senior, celebrated today. Graduate soon technically, but she'll make her first minutes of the day. Swapping out for Sumner, and Juliana Rosen, another senior, will make way for Summers. So maybe perhaps no hat trick today, but a brace is certainly plenty.
Yeah, you can't think she'll be on the bench complaining about her lack of a hat trick today. A career performance when it mattered most in a game this late. Beautiful brace from the grad student. Rosen now.
Straight to it.
Day on her back. Sees O'Reilly in the middle with time. Finds Rosen nicely on the wing, not nicely enough.
Yeah, right, picked her head up there. Maybe could have been lined up for a shot. Opted to go for the through ball for Rosen. Just a bit too much on it. And heading into the last 15, you think Middlebury really need to be urgent now, but Aries will not let that happen.
Coach Peter Kim is telling Abby Ward she needs to be a threat in behind. It should be something that's always on her mind with her kind of pace. Hasn't really been able to exploit it outside of those pressing chances.
Caroline Kelly, left foot. Oh my goodness. Caroline Kelly can't get the best of Carolyn Kelly. It's a good shot, it's a better save, and they are still in this game, but just barely.
Kelly of Middlebury really got down low for that one, as it was a pretty bad giveaway that lined up the shot. Pretty tough chance there. And Caroline Kelly quick to react on the shot.
Day now, sending it wide, high in the hopes of finding Ward or Verzi, but no luck. O'Reilly. Once again, ball's up in the air looking for headers. Kelly controls. Sees Rosen. Baldwin Gittins getting her first minutes of the game in just a moment. That time was Purcell with a nice takeaway, and they'll try to create something.
Be a tough throw on that far side, and it is kind of curious, as you mentioned, that they haven't swapped out the midfield yet, but Coach Whiting seemed to opt for her trusted ball winners and important pivots in Kelly and Nicholas, so no bench movement as of yet.
O'Neal playing it back to Edwards. And Tufts definitely trying to slow it down as Middlebury looks to do just the opposite in this third. Bertos does well to play the pressure on Kelly. Verzi drop back, Patton, and the finish leaves something to be desired. Edwards not worried about that one. Edwards, Long, Aries, and Shin, and that is a matchup Shin doesn't mind when it comes to headers and getting up.
Aries will continue to fight. Almost wins that one. Two of those matchups we really highlighted at the beginning. Kelly on Kelly and Aries on Shin. Really has delivered in full force.
Yeah, no lack of entertainment in this third, whether it's been an offensive play or a nice defensive stop. Now on the other side, and once again, Middlebury not really doing enough to really even test Gigi Edwards on that one. A lot of balls in the space, but will any of them really be a chance? Juliana Rosen.
Middlebury and Tufts now even in shots, 16 each in this game.
Yeah, Middlebury certainly clawing back into it, but will it be too little too late as Aries looking to hold up the play?
Yeah, I mean, in this matchup last year, Tufts only had to make 2 saves. Gigi Edwards already had a lot more work on her hands than that today. O'Reilly in for Rosen. Plays off nicely for Kelly. And not a bad place to shoot from. She will like to have a go from there, but this time it's not what she wanted.
Yeah, you could tell she wanted that one. Kelly winding up for the shot outside the box. That one, not enough lift to it, so kind of skimmed the ground and sailed out of bounds, but still very good link-up play.
And there's the Middlebury substitution. Verzi now finding the bench with 10 minutes to play. Day on the wing. Griffin on her. Chooses to pull to her inside. Back out, making Griffin spin. Finds Ward. Ward to the inside. Looking at net already.
Griffin hounding her, not letting her get anywhere past her.
And Tufts sort of realizing that Middlebury is happy to go from further.
Very much a trailing leg there from Rosen. Purcell upset with that.
Purcell wants the yellow there, but when the game has been played, it hasn't been oh so physical. I think the ref is willing to let that one go at this point.
Yeah,
just
I think
a foul.
pretty tough foul there from Rosen. Both players kind of banged up and can see why she'd be upset, but Middlebury will get what they deserve, and free kick now for Purcell. Straight for goal. That's not where you want it to be.
Should take under 10 minutes to go.
Edwards in no rush to get this ball out of her box. She'll send it long and as far away as possible.
She's got that very good eye for Aries, even though she only stands at 5'1". She can really place it on a plate for her.
Gittins working it around the midfield, finds Ward. Not the turnaround she wanted, but O'Neill almost fumbled it, able to recover and keep it in Tufts' possession. O'Reilly with a nice control.
Referee needed to get out of the way of that pass from Kelly, as we've continued to see so many times here on Bello, that midfield just connects so well. Another
Aaron
nice
Duncan.
drag back.
Talk about that move from Aaron Duncan.
Could have been more.
Tessa Broderick on your back defending is no joke, and Aaron Duncan almost makes her touch earth. Then again, nothing to come of it.
You can see that the Middlebury defense kind of running thin, as they really only have 2 that are staying back, and Tufts looking to make them pay for it. Foul called, though. Another one on Rosen.
Rosen's starting to push the envelope a little bit. You'd imagine the next one might earn her a caution.
Purcell that time, though, playing the body of Rosen, trying to guide it out of bounds, and that's the contact that winds up being too much, as Rosen with a bit of a push in the back as she does so. Gittins now controlling. Played back for Broderick, and Duncan, this high press, creates a little bit of bobbling. Middlebury happy to wind up with it. Oh, and it's a beautiful ball from Bertos to see Ward, but a Griffin there when it counts. Rosen
Now
on the
there's
wing with runners.
space. Rosen pointing to O'Reilly to find the far side along the line. Can she whip one in?
Bertos. Another really solid clearance from Kylie Bertos. But Middlebury not able to make anything of it.
Surprising. Tufts seem to have much more energy despite the fact that they're up, and they may want to conserve their energy. They're really leaving it all out here.
That being said, Panthers now have been playing a very pressing, high-octane brand of soccer for the last 25 minutes. No surprise that it's starting to show some wear if it is. Rosen to the inside. And once again, an easy save for Carolyn Kelly.
Yeah, you could tell Rosen wanted one on her senior day. Not a bad effort, but pretty tame for Kelly to collect.
Nicholas's header falls back to O'Neill. And they'll control it in their own third. Edwards sends that one out as quickly as possible. Gittins now. Chop off to Patton, but she was a bit too lackadaisical with it for Emily Nicholas.
You're starting to see why that decision to leave Nicholas and Kelly in the game was so smart. I mean, they've continued to see this one out.
Kushner
Tough foul there.
controlled in the middle. Cole tried to play the body and get on it, but it's a bit too much with an elbow out like that. That's called every time.
Yeah, you'd say in the men's game that would be a yellow all day, but as you said, this game hasn't quite escalated to that level. So ref opting to continue. Just under 7 minutes now.
Ball put in the middle. Bertos gets under it, but Kelly is on the receiving end. Plays it off to the wing nicely for Rosen now, who has Purcell approaching, and it will be Purcell who gets in the way. Tough corner.
Caroline Kelly has just been running this midfield all through this game. She's so hard to get off the ball. You saw there, like the low center of gravity is so difficult to shove off of it, and at the same time manages to pick out a perfect ball to find Rosen, who manages to force the corner.
Bounces off the body. That's the pressure that's applied, and manages to keep going with it. Something that I think deserves an all-NESCAC honor at the end of this year, perhaps.
O'Reilly able to get under it for a header, nothing to come of it. Aries wants that volley from way out, and Kelly says, I'll let it go.
Yeah, good header idea there from O'Reilly. That corner placed right on top of her. Good effort in the end. The ensuing volley could have been more to it, but still applying pressure. I think that's a number one thing, number one takeaway.
Feldman just came into the game for Day for this last push, wins the foul.
And Gigi Day, I mean, that being one of your top two goal scorers as well, it's kind of a tough substitution to leave out for this last few minutes.
Ward now winds up with it of a nice play from Patton. And you can see that this team now is starting to think about final 5 minutes. We need a goal.
They have a big opportunity here as that one, Kelly just took out the legs of the Middlebury player. This is a great opportunity, really good position here. We'll see who stands over it.
And good work by Gittins to control it and draw out the contact. And as you said, down to looking at this kind of opportunity, it is now or never a critical kick.
Clock still ticking, though.
Espinas. And once again, too much gas.
Kind of a common theme, I'd say, throughout this second half. Some great shots, some good ideas from the Middlebury attackers, but as you just said, too much gas on it. Had that one chance from Feldman that had just the right amount of gas into Feldman, but even then, Edwards was alert to it.
Edwards has already made 8 saves in this game. You mentioned that she'd had some really important saves earlier in the season, but she's been a pretty solid presence in the goal for the last, well, for this whole win streak that is looking to be extended to 6 if the Jumbos can hold out this last 5 minutes.
And what a run that would be heading into the closing stages of this season. 2 more regular season matches to come. One on Tuesday against Bridgewater State at home, and then to end it all off, an away trip to Brunswick, Maine to face Bowdoin College. O'Reilly with so much space.
Drops it off to Rosen, but Purcell reads that like a book, knocks it out.
But
Purcell doing well to control this right side against Rosen and O'Reilly. Tufts taking the throw in as this game nears its expiration. Griffin plays it back to Segru, who will send it high into the center where Aries is, but it's a bit too much bounce around, and that's a Carolyn Kelly ball.
And Carolyn Kelly a bit upset that she wasn't able to take that one and go with it as the foul had been called. Aries with a bit of a bump on Kelly. Clock will be stopped, but momentum kind of slowed if you're Middlebury.
Sends it high to Ward, who controls it nicely and keeps Nicholas off her, but it's Kushner there with the intervention when needed. Broderick wasting no time and throwing this one back in. Cole with a cheeky back of the foot kick. And Nicholas sort of forced to knock Patton out of the way.
Yeah.
Middlebury free kick.
Another kind of tough foul from Nicholas, but as we saw last time, these free kicks do take up time. As the wall will try to form, no real wall in the end.
Let's plays it up into the box, and Edwards is there and in control. Ward and Feldman wanted to get under that one, but sent it a bit too long. Edwards does well to command her players from the back and get into it.
Edwards didn't really mind not finding Aries there as long as the ball is up on the pitch. O'Reilly applying the pressure, and this is where you want to be if you're Tufts. Just keep Middlebury in their third, make them work for every ball up ahead.
And Middlebury wasting no time, as I said, on these throw-ins. They are or their free kicks. They're getting one and they're sending it in immediately. Aries.
Maybe they want one more.
Sends it high and wide. Oh my goodness, finds woodwork, and Aoife O'Reilly cleans it up. Carolyn Kelly does well to get one knock away, but the second chance is good, and I think we have a ball game on Bello.
And that perhaps the easiest goal O'Reilly will ever have in her career. On a plate for her, just inside the 6, makes it 3-0, and Tufts now really putting a stamp on this one, as Middlebury will lose their undefeated status, and Tufts will climb the D3 rankings.
Elsie Aries just sees the clock dip below 2 minutes. She's like, I scored a wonder goal last game. We'll try and do it again. Carolyn Kelly denied her, but could not do enough as Aoife O'Reilly smartly positioned in order to tap that home.
Yeah, all it takes is to be in the right place at the right time, and she was poised perfectly to slot that one home. And a tough one if you're Carolyn Kelly as well, as she really reached out for that one, and not much she can do on the rebound.
Kelly now, as the clock falls under a minute and a half.
Yeah, that just about wraps it up. I think all the urgency that was on the mind of Middlebury completely sucked out of them.
It just goes to show you how dangerous is Elsie Aries, no matter where she is on the pitch. She had no right to get that on frame, and she made that such an easy goal for Aoife O'Reilly.
Yeah, I didn't even think that was on her mind. I thought, you know, you had 2-0 up, might as well waste a bit more of the clock, but she sees things in different ways. Maybe she'll add a fourth.
Yeah, and that another case, as we talked about, of good defense, better offense. If you're Maddie Shen on the wing, there's really no better way. You can play Elsie Aries right on her side, not an inch of breathing room, and she still plays it in perfectly.
And with that goal from O'Reilly, it will be a repeat of the result 14 years ago. The last Tufts win will make it 3-0. A bit of vengeance for the Jumbos, and history making, it must be said as well. And another point for Elsie Aries. So quite the impressive day from the Jumbos. Will make their record 6-0 on the season at home.
O'Neal playing it out. 10 seconds to go, and that'll be all for action here on Bello. Guys, any takeaways from this game as the clock expires?
I think, for me, the Jumbos are here, and they're here to stay, as they'll rush the field in excitement. The Tufts faithful absolutely on their feet. But, yeah, as I was saying, I think the Jumbos are here, and they are certainly deserving of top 15, maybe top 10 spot in the D3 rankings. So, 2 outstanding wins against number 2 Amherst, now number 12 Middlebury. This is great momentum to carry with you in the closing stages of the regular season, and definitely into NESCACs as a home field quarterfinal. This looks to be all but wrapped up.
Yeah, and as I said, the question before this game was, what version of Tufts are we going to get? We have now gotten the same impressive version of Tufts for 6 games running. That was a very impressive showing. 3-0. It's not that Middlebury weren't competing. They really were. But Tufts were just too much and did not allow them any space, any real chance to open the scoring on the Panthers' account. Meanwhile, if you're a Panthers fan, this is not the result you want to come away with. You are now in a dogfight for that last home game spot for the NESCAC tournament, and you will not want to look away from those last 2 games for the Panthers in order to make sure that they can wrap up a home game.
Yeah, and with Wesleyan winning earlier today, Tufts will not be able to quite claim that first spot, but Tufts now very much in the position to do so in case Wesleyan do slip up. But this is a fantastic showing and a clean sheet as well. This is exactly what you want to see if you're Coach Whiting.
And don't go anywhere. We'll hopefully be back with an interview shortly.
Thank you.
I got my. Cool.
Okay.
We good? And we're here with Nicholas Summers, who had a brace here on Senior Day in the win. Look, that first shot was from way outside. What was going through your head as you took that?
Why not hit it? Let's see what happens.
Fair enough. And obviously, I mean, this is a big win. Great opponent with a strong back line. Number 12 ranked in the country coming into this game.
Yeah.
How does it feel to stay undefeated here at home?
It feels really good. I think my favorite part of it is this is our third team that we've beaten that was undefeated, and so that honestly means more to me than us being undefeated ourselves, because I feel like it means we show up for the big game. So I'm very, very proud of this group.
Awesome.
On Senior Day, no less.
Awesome. And then what's the mindset moving forward into these last few games before the NESCAC playoffs against Bridgewater State and Bowdoin?
I think just stay healthy, like keep doing what we're doing. I've been very pleased with what's been happening. So I think just like stay in the rhythm, keep vibes high, and get ready for what we have to come.
Sweet. Thank you very much.
No problem. Thank you
Well
guys.
said.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. And that's all she wrote, folks. It is Tufts University 3 and the Middlebury Panthers none here on Bellow Field on Senior Day.